It's that time, folks. We have arrived at the 12th episode. It's time for the first quarterly championship. Just like we had the segments in the Twisted Invitationals, now we have the quarterly championships. And this time around we have the Dream Car Championship, a championship made for 730 category cars. And there was like an actual qualification system in this one. Everyone ran 4 laps around Barcelona, the site of the first round of the championship, and the fastest time was used as the qualifying time. Top 20 lap times make it into the race or championship. You know what I mean? And a couple wrecked their cars during this session, Samuel Jansen and June Summers, and then a few just didn't really have the speed. And so yeah. 5 race championship. There will be no potluck race in this episode for the first time. So just to get the road on the show. I mean, we're here on the starting grid for the first race of the Dream Car Championship. As mentioned, it's Catalonia, and the grid order has actually been set in this race. Reverse qualifying time order. So the fastest time in qualifying starts last. No, we didn't tell them that until the race was about to start. I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, this is your reverse qualifying order, so Revert Wheeler was the slowest of the 20 times, so he starts on pole. And hopefully, now we can actually enjoy some real racing for once. I think that'd be quite nice after this whole Alice in Chains fiasco, wouldn't you say? You know, let's actually have some... we're gonna actually have a motor race today and not road rage. Nice lights. And unlike most episodes, this championship has mandatory grid start settings. So every race will be started with a grid start. That's an image. Oh my god. As we head into the first turn, the camera currently is on Johnny Parker's 6th gen Corvette. And he's already made up basically 4 spots. And we're not even through Sector 1 yet. You may see a couple of unique vehicles running in this race already. We'll get to those in more due time. Looking for 13th on DePrisco. He gives quite a wide berth, probably because it's not Wayne Hansen, let's be fair. DePrisco's actually a nice guy when he's not near Wayne. Oh, camera, hello. There we go. We've caught up with the feed. Holy crap, that was weird. One of the 2 new vehicles running this one. This is not a new driver by any means. Maki Nishikino has obtained a Ferrari F430 after Eric couldn't use his anymore after the classes merged. But this isn't just any random F430, no. This is, as you can see on the hood, this is a Scuderia Fidanzi F430 race car. It's really quite ironic. A racing incident at High Speed Ring resulted in Francesca Fidanzi going out of her way to apologize to the race winner for running into them. And by the end of the conversation, managed to convince Maki to join her racing team. As the two parties seem to share an affinity for Ferraris and just generally Italian cars. And so the vehicle is a Maserati. She just punts Reen out of the way. I don't really think that's too popular. I didn't even make the pass or do really anything with it. It just slightly inconvenienced the Viper driver. Now she gets ahead, though. I think she's used Honoka as a pick on Wayne Hansen, too. And she might even get Honoka for good measure. Yep, she is. She just made 3 places in basically 2 turns. 2 of them on other Love Live girls. How ironic. Incidentally, too, Scuderia Fidanzi is short on cash, for the most part. Maybe that's kind of, you know... Perhaps that sort of comes with the territory of racing in Ferraris rather than something a little cheaper. You know? Could try like a Corvette. Should have bought a Corvette, Francesca. Instead you buy all these expensive Ferraris and wonder why your cash is going down the drain. You know how much these things cost to fix? Why am I asking? Of course you know. You're the one who has to fix them every time somebody wrecks them. But... yeah. Incidentally, Maki not only comes from a pretty wealthy family, being a family mostly of doctors, nurses, people in the medical field, so they're pretty well off as far as, you know, as far as salaries go. But also, Maki has a permanent sponsor in the form of Harman Logistics, a company that makes different analytical machinery that's used in a lot of the hospitals that Maki's family works in. It's a pretty big company. It makes hospital equipment. That's sort of not necessarily a monopolized thing, but that's something you can't really go without when you have a hospital, and there's a lot of flippin' hospitals in the world. As we catch up with Johnny Parker, who's conveniently caught the other driver of interest in this event. Ambrosio Reyes has decided now is the best time to make his debut. He's driving I believe it's a modified SRT-10 ACR with a livery from the D1GP with a couple of small edits made to it. He didn't exactly give a whole lot of his storyline. It didn't really give much of his story or backstory yet. This Parker's already up into second up there on the top of the screen. But technically, by all accounts, he was allowed to run as long as he qualified in, and he did just that. I think he was like 14th in qualifying, so he started in the top half of the grid, and he's, I think, only moved up from there. And speaking of moving up, yeah, remember the person that I'm driving as? The person who's supposed to be the focus of the race? Yeah, me either. I've just been talking random nonsense. Good Lord, Bert! Okay, Bert clearly getting a little dirty. Oh, very dirty. Now he's literally in the dirt. He basically just like reverse intimidated Bert Wheeler. And now Johnny Parker is the leader as we start the second to last lap of the race. Yeah, really everything else here, it's only those 2 drivers. Reyes having, you know, making his debut in the series here with this ACR Viper, and Maki Nishikino running a Scuderia Fidanzi F430. Basically, the only really established team in the Challenge Series right now is that Scuderia. It's not really an official thing. It's not like we're going to be sitting here with like Constructors Championships or anything. At least not the way it's developed so far. I'm not opposed to the idea, but we would need a lot of people committing to running racing teams for that. I think Fidanzi's the only one that's doing that right now, and the only other person that I can think of that's ever even thought about it, or had, you know, any sort of action about it, is Hikaru Taniguchi, who had Taniguchi Racing Team back in 2017. It literally only lasted 1 season, so obviously it wasn't super successful then. I can't exactly speak for him, but I certainly wouldn't have the nerve to... I wouldn't exactly have the nerve to bring that back, you know, considering it didn't do very well before. I don't know why the AI just cannot make this corner normally. Anything in that last sector, the AI just do not know what they're doing. And I don't really see the issue. The part of the track's not exactly difficult to achieve. As it's kind of looking like the Stars and Stripes Invitational. Never mind, Ryan Wolf's there. I was gonna say, it looks kind of like the Stars and Stripes Invitational right now. 4GT, SRT-10, Z01 Camaro, C6 Corvette. But no, then there's just this random McLaren Mercedes thing here, and it kind of ruined it. Ryan Wolf makes a sort of like a feigned dive bomb on Vert Wheeler. Vert's not even remotely phased by it. We'll keep it on the road. Reyes goes wide. Reyes slides. I mean, I guess he is in a D1 GP livery, huh? Doesn't help. Sometimes the way that the AI drive in this game gives me an aneurysm. So it goes. I think it's the 17th to first challenge has been completed for one Johnny Parker. Now to the last turn at Barcelona. He'll win the first round of the Dream Car Championship, but it's a long road ahead. Travis Wilde has really suffered in this one. It seems his all handling, no power approach really didn't get him anywhere. Wayne Hansen does take the fastest lap of the race, but he finishes 19th place, so not really great, if I'm honest with you. And we got a long episode ahead of us, so I'm not going to spend too long in the post-race screens. Onwards to round 2. We're green for the second race of the episode, the second race of the championship. And next on offer is Deep Forest. As I thought they were going to be 4 wide into the first turn. No, but 3 wide is just as crazy. We're experiencing some oversteer. Now we're back to randomized grids. And this is definitely to the benefit of Ambrosio Reyes, who started on the front row and will fend off Ryan Wolf to stay there. And the driver of focus in this race is Jake Scarborough and his AMG GTS. Who about got walled, I think, by James Stillwell going down the back straightaway. Ooh, ow. Hi, how are you, Jake? Bit of a concertina moment there. Jeez, you got all-wheel drive and you get embarrassed on a corner exit like that. That's just sinful. I say while getting embarrassed on the outside of a high-speed turn like that. Oh, we got airtime. Uh-oh. Thunk right into Gwozdowski and then Travis Wilde for good measure. I think Travis Wilde just broke checking there, and he's just getting forced around with the little S's. Jake gives him a bit of the bumper, but doesn't actually move him very far. It's more just forced application than anything. Well, in the background, I think Maki also made up a lot of places from that exchange. Looks like Jake's car is basically being driven by TCS right now, more than it's being driven by him. All that German power is... Not all that glitters is gold, especially not horsepower, you know? Unlike this, which is literally gold. Oh, Alex. Not Alex. Eric. Oh, God. It's not a very popular, Rikerism right there. Down the inside of DePrisco. Almost got to the inside of Hikari too, but just broke a little too late for that. However, better exit and nerves. And now into the top 5 for the AMG. And it's the Great Kogasa Train of 2022 going on here. Reyes doing more drifting. Jake gets the move done on Cam, absolutely embarrasses him on this corner, which really isn't the passing zone very often. Looks like we're going to have a Mercedes versus Mercedes drag race in a second. But Jake got such a better exit that Wolf had absolutely no chance of keeping him behind. Goodness me. Huge braking, barely makes the hairpin, just kind of use Kogasa to do it. And that actually causes Kogasa to lose the place to Reyes, who takes an opportunistic moment and grabs the lead from Jake's braking misfortune. But can't hold it for long, as Jake just has some sort of inhuman nerves to that final turn. Wolf trying to pass Kogasa into turn 1. Kogasa's turned defense almost into offense, but Reyes covers the door. Covers the door, closes the door. Still too wide with the McLaren. The SLR McLaren, I should say. Eventually, I think Kogasa will finally have successfully defended the spot. It took more than a sector of the track to do so. I think Taniguchi's, his days in 7th are numbered. The R34 doesn't have much horsepower. There's Maki. Slipstream did a little bit, but I couldn't help him enough. And we're already on the final lap. Just about. Despite being a 5-lap race, this will still end up being one of the shorter races in the Challenge Series so far. Probably could have had a 6th lap, to be honest. More drifting from the Viper. Somehow I'm beginning to think that maybe he is a drifter by occupation. Like Natsuki is. Or like a couple of Thrasher's crew are. And speaking of Thrasher's crew, one of them has the fastest lap of the race. But he's sort of right in the middle of the pack, not doing anything worth noting. Wayne Hansen he was the favorite because he had the fastest qualifying time, but he hasn't exactly had a major breakout event just yet. He has the best car on paper, but he hasn't been able to do a whole lot with it. quite a gap. As there's some in-sync drifting between second and third. Oh my god, Baku's got a huge exit on Cam. And, Jake Scarborough completes the last to first challenge here at the Deep Forest. Takes the victory, and that's the second race win in a row for real drivers. Maki managed to keep fifth. Hansen also out-dragged Cam to the line. So we take sixth at basically the last breath. And Johnny Parker is consistently inconsistent. He goes from winning the race to dead last. That's not great. That's kind of an understatement, but that's not great. You kind of don't want to finish last. You're green from the third race of the championship. We're at Fuji, and we've just missed a pretty heavy rainstorm. There's still a tiny bit of water on the circuit, but Cam doesn't seem to care. He's on racing hards. I guess it is relatively safe to assume it'd probably dry up later on. And it's already paying quite strong dividends. He's already up to 11th, maybe? I don't know if he can win them on the outside. Or he totally can, and now he's looking for 10th. We've had cases like this before. A bit of rain on the track. One driver goes for the racing tires and just braves the moisture. Everyone else goes to sports. And Ryan Wolf did this once, and he absolutely crushed that race. Cam's a little shaky through there, but he managed to still pass Johnny Parker anyway. He's already up to 6th. We're only in Sector 3 of the first lap. He may very well be the leader by the end of the lap if he goes through the third sector well. And considering he's got all-wheel drive on his side, yeah, it might not be the hardest thing to manage that. Shadow. Just throws it on the outside of Taniguchi. Also all-wheel drive, might I add. He's sitting on the outside of Hansen. Uses Maki as a pick, maybe. Basically, yeah. Oh, good word. Oh, Jesus. There's something with Scuderia Fidanzi drivers and racing incidents on exit. Oh, that's not even a racing incident. She just straight up turned him. What the hell? That is a blatant act. Foolish. So now it looks like we might have suspension damage from that. But he hasn't retired the car. I don't know, it seems to be fine to me. Ask my rear bumper. Oh, goodness me. The moisture is all gone from the circuit now. Oh, this might be ugly. Yep. Gives him a piece of his mind. I don't really know if I necessarily blame him here. I thought we were going to have a nice peaceful race weekend here of the Dream Car Championship. He doesn't actually take her out, though. Just maybe gives her back bumper quite a dent. Probably because he also sees the leader is not even a corner ahead, and like what Maki did with Fidanzi back in that high-speed ring race, realizes why bother wrecking you when I can just pass you and go for the lead, because the lead is like 2 seconds ahead of me. Although, if I'm Cam, I'm not even concerned about passing Honoka right now. I'm concerned about getting ahead of Hansen, who's, you know, on paper the fastest car here. That said, Cam got second in that same qualifying session, so on paper, you're the second fastest car here. It's the real clash of the qualifying pace titans here. But neither one have had a really great race so far. Actually, no, I tell a lie. Cam had an okay, like, top 10 last time out, but he got, like, 17th at Barcelona. He didn't do great, is what I'm saying. But he's away now. And he is going to just take the money and run. You can barely see Mount Fuji. It is still very cloudy. The rain, as I mentioned, just passed when we took the green flag, so there was still moisture on the circuit, and likewise the clouds are still in effect. And now that the rain is gone, the racing hard tires will absolutely come alive. Because... text. I'm sorry, it's noon, Mom. Oh, me. Anyway... Yeah, that's the comparison. I'm actually surprised the difference is only 3 seconds a lap, really. Then again, Kim had to actually pass Hansen on that lap. Probably should have judged based on car. They're not doing a whole lot better. I think we just saw Reyes take 15th away. He got absolutely bodied by the starting grid this time. Yoko got bodied by James Stillwell for good measure. It's noon, Christ. It's literally fucking noon. Alright. I'm sorry, I'm the one on a good sleep schedule for once. Any fucking way. Look, it doesn't seem like I have to worry about excitement right now, considering this field's spread like butter. I think all the lack of grip on the sports tires. Nobody's really pushing their car at the moment. Unless their name is Travis Wild, who has the downforce to compensate for the lack of tire grip. But he still gets boxed out by Reyes, despite all of his drifting efforts. Seriously, he is swinging that thing. He's playing Ridge Racer, not Gran Turismo. I feel like there's probably more than one person in that boat right now. My god, the power difference. Same category again. Might I remind you, this thing's gonna hit 200 into turn 1 by far. I don't think even the R8's doing that. Even with all the tire grip, sometimes this thing just slides around anyway, because it's an Audi and it's shit. I said it. I don't like Audi R8s. It's like my worst kept secret. They don't look too bad, no, but trying to drive these things is like playing Simon Says. Simon Says, snap oversteer, despite being 4-wheel drive. This doesn't make any sense. You got me. But by all accounts, it doesn't make sense. And clearly, fortune favors the brave, and lap times favor racing hard tires. All-wheel drive probably helping. There's a lot of low-speed corner exits here. By that I mean like just about all of them, except for like 2. And down the nearly mile-long straightaway for the final time of the race, Cam Walker is going to walk away with this victory, and a sub-minute 40 lap time just for good measure. For reference, what's Wayne Hansen going to do when he crosses the line? 3 seconds slower. Almost 4. That was just, I believe they call that domination, or a clinic, or a masterclass. I don't know. I call it racing tires. The lights? Why did they never do that? How are the start lights so hard to program in the replays? Anyway, race 4 of the championship. We're at Interlagos. The camera focus is on Hikari Taniguchi. Well, I did the point system. I did the points and stuff, but I calculated the points while I was running the races, not now as I'm recording them. That's not the racetrack, Hikari. So I can't actually give you a completely live update on how the championship fight's going at this point. I just know what it was going into the final round and what it is coming out of the final round. I do remember that Hikari up to this point had a very mid-tier championship. He was somewhere like 11th, 12th in points. So, and as a reminder too, the camera car isn't exactly chosen by the drivers or chosen by me or anything. Outside of the one case of Barcelona, it's usually just defaults to what's the car that started in last place. You put the camera on them and see how they make their way through the field. Because it seems a lot of Challenge Series drivers take starting last as a challenge by the gods of random number generators to spite the universe and win the race anyway. And he's certainly working towards it. He's already up to 11th. We've only done 1 lap. And he's now catching the Viper Wars ahead. You guys give me a run for my money, despite just basically being in the same car as me. All, you know, obviously slightly different build on the car. He's going for raw horsepower. I've gone for actually having a car that turns and doesn't want to bite me every time I hit the throttle. Okay, Ambrosio didn't foresee that line, but there's giving space and then there's panicking. And again, I can't say I haven't been there before. Distracted by Messenger. Why am I trying to press R2 to change the car I'm looking at? What game did I think this was? That's not even how you do it in other games. It's not like that's how you do it in Circle Course or Wreckfest either. Oh, actually I know. Overwatch. Here's Hikari. I was gonna say an R34 outdragging a Ford GT. What world is this? Actually, this is the world of Gran Turismo, and that happens all the time. You can just stuff like 9,000 horsepower into a Skyline in these games. GT7 is actually kind of minimal. Only 600. You would think that'd be near the limit for a car that's started at 280. No. If Hikari wanted to go full power and speed, he could probably have had like 820 in this thing. You could have about 960 in GT Sport. Send it on ice. Moves ice a little at the track. Is anybody battling right now? Not really. Wow, this is... this is a dying throat. This is kind of weak. Ouch, totally weak, dude. All the horsepower in the world can't seem to save these two. Brian Ice doesn't care, he's gonna just absolutely ship it, but Eric shuts the door. Probably wisely, that might have been ugly. I thought he was about to move him there. He was just moved a minute ago, so... Well, he actually does move him now. Nope, Eric doesn't take your bullcrap. Better run for Ice, though. Does he actually make a move normally this time? No. Another closed door. Somewhere a window just opened and it doesn't know why. Neither one turning for that corner at all. This is not quite the apex. Jake recently won a race here outside of the Challenge Series, but how well is it transferring here as he but loses on a straightaway? Lincoln and I with their differing braking points. I thought I was about to see Maki run into Reen again. This is just a train. I think we might have just had Wayne Hansen passing Cam. We might also have Ryan Wolf doing that. And we shall. Guess they're biding their time, but Cam broke so much later, Ryan could do nothing. And Ice is getting right back up to that F12 again. He seems to have more braver under the brakes, or he's just more aggressive on them at least. Or he's just more of an idiot. It's always possible. Honestly, where do you draw the line, you know? You're either brave or you're a fool, and the only real border between the two is how successful are you. If you do something stupid and it works, you're brave. If you do something stupid and it doesn't work, you're an idiot, and now you might be dead. But what has worked is Hikari's lost the first challenge. It seems like starting last literally has an advantage in this league. Hikari takes the W at Interlagos. You'd think you'd have won at Fuji, not here, considering he used to race at Fuji all the time. I'm just showing the crazy nature of this point system, which is literally just 20 down to 1. So a win is 20, second 19, third 18. It's basically just go by average finish and you'll win the championship, really. Obviously that's not really always under your control with a random grid, but I do remember that this gave Hikari the points lead. and most of the other drivers in contention were most of the top 8 there. Trying to find where well, I don't actually remember who's who, but I know the point standings were 13 points separating the top 10. There were 10 drivers that could win the championship, and I know most of them in no particular order were all of the top 5. Maki, I think, was in the 50s range. Vert and me were in the 40s. I don't even think Hansen might have been in there. I don't even remember. He's not had the championship that I expected. The starting grid not helping a whole lot, but yeah, I think it was the top 5. So Hikari, Eric, Ice, Carly, Jake, Maki, Vert, me. Ellie was in the top 10. I think Cam was the other one on 44 points. This is a 3-way tie for 8th at 44. Then it's 52. Tie for 5th at 53. 54, 56, 56. So tie for 2nd. And then the points leader was Hikari coming out of this race at 57. And the final race is green for the Dream Car Championship. We are at Trial Mountain. It seems like we were just here. Well, yeah, obviously we were. Just one episode ago, I was wrecking somebody's here. And now, can I just point out, the AI at this track are just absolutely cringe. Especially on the first lap, they do not know what they're doing. This is a corner you can take literally flat out. Who's the cause of this? You. I mean, yeah, 3 wide, but like, you really gotta do 50 miles an hour through a corner you normally take at like 110. And that's not any better. I see DePrisco up there doing the same thing in the next corner, which you also take at like, not flat, but like 80% throttle. Certainly not at 55 miles an hour. The AI here, they just give me several forms of headache. I feel like I get stupider every time I'm behind one. And it's obviously there's a little bit of that in every track, but here it just seems so much worse. Jeez. I think that could be part of the track limits down there. I don't even know. It doesn't really matter. I feel like it's kind of an at-your-own-risk thing, because I don't think there's a whole lot of traction down there. It's not part of the rubbered-in circuit. And obviously, yes, we are riding along with Maki in this race, who is in the points battle. I believe she was actually 3rd in points going into this race. If she could finish a couple places ahead of, if I remember right, I think it was beat Brian Ice, who's tied with her at 54, beat Ellie by 2 points, and beat Hikari by 3, which she's already ahead of him, so I think, no, well, that's the tie. Beat Brian Ice, beat, because they're tied, beat Ellie by 3 points to take 2nd place in points from her, beat Hikari by 4 points to win the championship. That's what I think was the point, was the sit rep here. Oh, now she's beating Brian Ice, who just passed him down the main drag. Hello, Wayne. Okay, Wayne. Hansen might not even in the points picture at all. kind of have to wonder if I could, like, look into the mind of Ellie and, I mean, just Ellie. She's already passed the other two, but... Does Ellie maybe... Well, doesn't matter. She's already got passed by her, but... I was gonna say, I wonder if Ellie and the other Love Live idols that are in this event are cognizant of the idea that if Maki does really well in this race, she can take the championship, being all friends and all that stuff. Do you think they just, like, would just get out of her way? Just, like, help her win? Because there's nothing really against that either. Basically, the only real rules in the challenge series other than car regulations are don't intentionally hurt people. And, you know, if you just go slowly in front of somebody to help your buddy pass them, that's not really hurting them. If it is, it's their fault, not yours. So that's not technically breaking any rules, but it doesn't exactly matter. She's passed them all already anyway. She only has to make 2 more passes to be in the lead. Cam is not an object in the points battle at all. He's down on 44. Mathematically could win the championship, but that's very much thwarted by pretty much everybody else in the top 8 points, who are running well enough to be scoring more points than him right now. Another driver who's definitely got my attention in this championship, Ambrosio Reyes. This is his debut, and he has a mathematical chance of winning this championship. I believe he was one of the 2 cars tied at 51 or something, or 52. Point is, he was not far from the lead. He was within 10. And he's ahead of Hikari, who's absolutely just dropped the ball in this one. He has the points lead. He just needs to finish ahead of the big ones, make damage control, not run 16th place. That's the one thing he needed to not do. Even an average run could win the championship depending on circumstance, but that's not average. That's pitiful. I feel like an idiot. I was so busy grilling Hikari, I missed Maki making these passes. Hang on. No, I hadn't. Okay. So I'm guessing Maki just... I think I did see this, yeah. Maki just outdrags Cam down the main straightaway. A bit of a brain error moment as she just about runs into the back of him instead of just going around. Doesn't get Eric here. It's going to be a Ferrari battle, and considering I think Eric was on 53 points to Maki's 54, this is pretty much the battle for the championship right here. Because Ellie is a little ways back in P7. Hikari at this point is in the bottom 10. So this is for all intents and purposes the battle for the championship. Reyes I think had 52. So he had a mathematical chance, but with these 2 ahead of him in points and ahead of him on the track, he can't really do anything about that. But still, it's a debut, and it's one of the biggest championships of the season, the biggest one we've had so far in the series. And he's probably going to come away with a top 5 points finish. Never grabbed a win, but he was consistently running in like top 6, top 7 the whole way through. And obviously has some pretty darn good car control, as Eric sends it on the inside, down into the hairpin. He's not going to go quietly, and I suppose that shouldn't surprise anyone. Maki tries the outside. Gets nothing. Still is on the outside though, so it's going to come down to this breaking point at the end of the lap. Eric inside here. Maki barely hung there. She got to his door with her bumper. Inside lane, better exit. Eric all over the road. Maki will retake the lead and hope to drive off into the sunset, but I don't know if it'll be that easy. Well, with the turn 1, 2, 3 like that, it would be hard to argue. Camera. Yeah, no, look at how much space she already got between her and Eric. They're just 3 corners. Bit of a mid-engine moment, but the car actually never broke loose. It actually just kind of understeered. There it did. I think Rocky did that on purpose. Eric is back in the mirrors, and he's got a little more horsepower than the F430, but is it even enough? He's not really gaining that fast. Rocky is so much later on the brakes. I don't think he has anything for her. We're running out of corners here. He's not... Oh, no. I think he just reserved right there. He accepted this loss. And as she brakes, a bit of grass on her tires breaks into the final complex of the circuit. Maki Nishikino, he won the race and the championship. That's not where the finish line is. You won the race and the championship. Oops, I didn't even press that. So, as we look at the final point standings here, I should just exit. We'll see the results on the main screen. Yeah, look at the final point standings here in the Dream Car Championship. Maki Nishikino is your champion. 76 points out of the possible 100 you could score across 5 races. So, 3/4 of the total points. I think that's literally an average finish of that's like an average finish of 5th. Because 5th is 15 points. So she averaged a top 5 in every round. Eric Wojciechowski, second in the championship at 72. So even if he had beaten Maki, he wouldn't have actually gotten the win in the championship either. Because then that would have just been 73-75. Ambrosio Reyes, on his debut, ended up 3rd in points at 70. Brian Ice, 4th, 68. Carly Watts, 5th, 66. Had a very quiet championship. I honestly hadn't even noticed until I looked at the final points that she was quietly just grinding away at the top 6. Jake Scarborough, 6th place. That victory in the second round obviously contributing a lot to that. Cam, 7th on 62. Hikari, 8th, 61. He went from 1st in the standings to 8th at the end, just based on his pitiful result here in the final round. 17th. Yeah, that's not the result of a champion right there. I was 9th at 60. I wasn't even the highest scoring Viper. I got outscored by a guy debuting in a slightly newer Viper. But then I massively outscored the other Viper, so go figure. Wayne Hansen, who was on paper the best car on the championship and had the qualifying pace to show it at the preliminary event at Barcelona, he only gets 10th in standings at 58 points. Ryan Wolf, 11th at 54. Vert Wheeler, 12th with 53. Ellie, 13th with 50. Johnny Parker, 14th at 45. Almost half of his total points came from that win at Barcelona. He then would only score 25 more from there on out. Green, 15th at 41. Honoka, 16th at 40. So, clearly it was feast or famine for the Love Live girls. The other three, not even in the top 10 in points. And then we have Maki winning the championship. Kogasa, 17th at 38. Dom DePrisco, 18th at 35. James Stillwell, 19th with just 27. Travis Weil, absolutely disappointing outing for the most expensive car in the championship with $3 million price tag. Just the most expensive car in general, actually, but really didn't have the performance to show for it. This is definitely going to be a hit to his ego. He scored a massive 8 points. Mind you, you score 1 point per race no matter where you finish, just by finishing last. So you would have at least 5 throughout the championship. He scored 8. Just give that to somebody else, man. All that money is going to waste sitting back there. Yeah, so that'll do it. Maki is the champion. Maybe starting to prove that a racing team can have its benefits here in the Challenger Series. Have a team dedicated to setting up, building, designing cars like Scuderia Fidanzi, and will we see other drivers try this out? I have absolutely no idea. Depends on how many logos I can slave Thrasher into making for me. That's messed up, but I don't know how to make logos. Even if I did, I have a crappy laptop that can barely even get onto Google Chrome half the time, so I'm certainly not going to be able to do it. But until next time, it's the Challenge Series signing off after a momentous Dream Car Championship.